What is up, everybody? Welcome to Crunch Time. Apparently, you see some new differences in our new background, and you see us decked up in all Crunch gear. That could only mean one thing. The Cleveland Crunch have won their 5th title in history. I'm gonna let that go on a little bit longer, just because. And not to mention, not only have they won their 5th in history, they've also done something that a lot of teams in Cleveland have not done, which is win 3 or more professional championships. I'll do that again. Not only that, I got to turn it over to my boy Ken, because Ken is also with us in the studio. And if you haven't noticed, we have some members of the Crunch. One of the owners, Ryan Ruiz, Jacob Roberto, and Omar Najjar, 2 members of the rookie class. But you can't really call them rookies anymore because they came in and won hardware.
Yes, we did.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mel. And thank you guys for coming in. Like I said, yeah, the 2024 MLIS champions, your Cleveland Crunch. Continue that clap. We got to give it up for you guys. You locked up the championship with a 9-4 win over the Omaha Kings, finishing 9-3 in the regular season. Like he said, 5th star on the jersey, a 5th championship. So, guys, I want to ask you players, what does it mean to you personally to be able to raise that championship this year?
Honestly, it's unbelievable because as I've grown up, I've watched a lot of these guys play. I idolized a lot of them. So to be able to join their team and make an impact and win the trophy in the first season, you just can't beat it.
I'd have to agree there, yeah. Growing up, seeing some of the guys play, and being able to play next to some of the best players in Northeast Ohio, some of the best guys in the area. Being a rookie, it was a great feeling to raise a trophy out there in Omaha and bring it home.
Absolutely. What was it? Now, obviously, you two are technically rookies, but you know these players, you've been there. What was it like to be able to not just win, but to kind of avenge last year's loss against Omaha and take out Grand Rapids in that semifinal and final to kind of help these guys get that, the monkey off the back, the revenge almost? How did it feel to kind of be able to come in and kind of help those guys, complete that goal?
Yeah, I mean, it was an unbelievable feeling to do that. Since the start of the season, Antonio always mentioned last year, even the older guys would mention, we want to bring back what's ours, which is a championship. We just kind of carried that momentum, and not being able to experience it in the prior year because we just had our first year, I felt like it was, we've still felt those emotions just from the amount of repetition and just hearing from the older guys how bad they wanted to bring it home.
Yeah. And I want to ask, you brought up Coach Manfoot. It's his first year as the head coach. Obviously, coaching experience necessarily he doesn't bring, but what was it like knowing your coach has done it on the highest level there? He's won a gold medal, he's been a successful player. What is it like to be able to, not that you wouldn't believe in a coach who hasn't played, but to know when this guy is telling me, hey, I gotta look and see this differently, or I need to get back here, not only has he done it, but he's done it successful. Is it a little easier to kind of lean on him?
Yeah, it's exactly like you said. Somebody with that much experience, it's kind of like he talks, everybody listens, kind of thing. So he tells you something, you nod your head and you just keep it in mind when you continue. And it ended up working out for us. He had put in a great game plan in the semis and finals and took care of business pretty comfortably, I'd say. So.
Understandable, and we talked about this day one. That was one of the reasons that you hired, Antonio Manfoot, was you could tell what from a player he was going to bring onto that coaching aspect, right?
Yeah, we were all about Antonio Manfoot from the start of the season, from what you and I talked about, and one thing I like about Antonio is he holds players accountable. It's nice to go to war for somebody who's actually been doing it for a while. And Antonio had a vision this year. Practice after practice after practice got better and better and more structured. These guys made leaps and bounds as far as learning the system and learning what we're all about as an organization. So, I mean, there's a reason that I wanted these guys here for you, is because in my eyes, in our organization's eyes, this is the offensive rookie of the year for the Crunch and the defensive rookie of the year for the Crunch. So, Antonio did a great job. And you know what? The guys, the veteran guys like the Kevin Blackwoods that tutored these guys, and you know, Blackwood would tell me multiple times, "Hey, Omar's asking me this," and it's just that family Crunch atmosphere that we started from the very beginning of all this, and it's just continued on.
Absolutely, and we would absolutely want to give our love and our shout out to Kevin, who did go under surgery. He was injured in the final, did score the first goal, so we want to give all our love and thoughts and positive vibes to Kevin. I do want to ask you guys, because I was able to be there at day one. I was at the first practice. I got a couple of the players. I was able to talk to Ryan and the coach. Every team goes into their first practice and goes, well, yeah, we want to win this year. Every single person that I spoke to, from Ryan on down, the goal within the first 30 seconds of our conversation was laid out. We want to win. We want the championship back. We want that 5th star. How is it now that the season is over? Have you been able to kind of take a deep breath and almost kind of give yourself a pat on the back and go, you know what? We walked in day one and said it and did it. Every team says that. Not every team gets to do it. You guys talked the talk, walked and played that walk the entire year. Have you kind of given yourself that pat on the back yet? And, you know, kind of giving in the team, giving your guys, yourselves that love?
Yeah, no, absolutely. From what Ryan mentioned with Coach Manfoot, he would always hold our players accountable, and that was a big thing, especially with the first practice, with the first goal, which was we want to win. And with the group of guys we had and the experience Antonio had throughout his career playing and his first year as a coach, I don't think it was an unrealistic expectation at all, because as you can see, we've won.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But yeah, no, it was just I was definitely able to take it all in as a group and individually. After we got home, after the drive back, it was like, man, we really did that. That was a pretty awesome feeling. But yeah, from the expectations from Antonio at the beginning of the season, it was nothing that we don't think we couldn't have achieved.
Yeah, and I'm gonna throw it to you to kind of answer the same question, but the reason I point this out and I kind of ask what almost would sound like a basic question of, hey, have you guys given yourself on the pat on the back? If you're gonna complete those goals and you're gonna win that kind of championship, you have to be so locked in to a point where you kind of don't give yourself that kind of extra pats and extra dap after wins during the season, because you know there's a bigger goal to achieve, correct?
Right. No, 100%. And you know, when my college season had ended in the fall, and I was looking for a place to play through the winter, and there was a couple teams I was looking at, and I went to a few practices, and after my first practice with the Crunch, my decision was pretty much made for me. You can feel the difference, the standards, everything like that, and almost, I don't even want to say that when I got there, the goal was a championship, because it feels as if it was almost like an expectation more than
right.
There's super high standards when you put on the Crunch jersey, and it's just it's an amazing feeling to be able to put the jersey on and then say you did it.
Right, and as somebody, I've played soccer my whole entire life. I've known the Crunch, like you talked about. It's there's an expectation. This is not an organization and a team that is like, oh, well, we had a good, no, did we win it all? Well, then we didn't have a good season. So I get that. I want to jump back into something, because you guys have talked about it, and that's Coach Manfoot holding the players accountable. There was a loss against Omaha, 7-6 loss on the road, and from that point forward, even watching the games, you could see a step was taken. There was a switch got flipped. Was there kind of a bigger conversation after that loss where Coach kind of was like, okay, guys, enough, if this is what we're going to try to accomplish in the end?
Yeah, that loss that we took, I mean, we were up a couple goals in the fourth quarter, and things didn't seem to go our way. But it was after that, it was just, we have to stay focused. We have to do all of the fundamental things that we've been working on from the beginning, every single second that you're out there. And we knew that once we really focused on those things, with the talent that we have, nobody was ever going to stop us.
And it was very clear. One of the things, and obviously, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, this team has a commitment to the defensive end of the field, and that sometimes can lose its focus to an outsider for the indoor game because the higher scoring, the opportunity. But that's got to come from not just coach, but you guys individually as players. And obviously, when you play defense, I play defense. That's already our job. But offensively, guys can get sidetracked and kind of only worry about getting forward. What was that commitment day one like of, we've got to start on the defensive end? That's how we're going to win this.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Being an offensive player and playing mostly outdoor my whole life, basically, it was definitely a change or a shift in the game for me. Typically in an outdoor game, you're not really tracking back on defense as much. But that was one of the big things Coach Manfoot had for us with the game plan. Just the system we play is sticking with your man. So it's a smaller field, and I'm all the way back by Musa, and then coming back up and then back down. We don't really switch a lot, switching guys. We try to maintain just marking the same guy, but it was definitely interesting, and it was a great point from Coach Manfoot that we have to value the ball the most. So being able to stay with our guys was extremely important.
And as a defender, it has to be good knowing I'm not going to be alone. I got guys going to come back and help me. They're going to keep an eye on. I'm not going to have to be in these 2v1 situations, things like that.
Yeah, definitely. And like Jacob said, it's everybody behind the ball. As soon as we turn it over, everybody gets behind the ball, and that, I think, is the main reason why we're so successful, because we have subs, we have waves of guys that can come off the bench and keep impacts. So you get tired from putting in a long defensive shift, you get out, you get your break, and then you come back in and you're ready to run again on the attack. So it's a very selfless style of play that we played, and it takes a lot from the attackers and people like him.
Absolutely. And I want to, you guys are rookies. There's a big veteran presence on this team, guys who not just are there with their leadership, but they contribute goals, assists, and stuff like that. However, you guys weren't just left on the bench to kind of fend for some minutes when you could. You were called upon. What is it like knowing that, hey, even though I'm young, even though I'm a rookie, or this is my first year on the team, not only am I going to be called on, I'm going to be called upon in big minutes and be asked to contribute, not just be there and be a body.
For me personally, I came from the open tryout at the beginning of the season. So just being able to be a part of the Crunch and just representing Cleveland was an awesome feeling to begin with. And I just wasn't, I just didn't know what my expectations were coming in, and I just knew just take it day by day. And having that older presence on the team definitely helped, especially in our practices. Those older guys are going to hold you accountable, and they're going to let you know about it. So definitely just working towards staying on top of the level that we all as a group fully expect of each other. And it was just that older presence for sure was a big influence for us and myself personally to grow as a player.
I do have a question really quickly. I want to throw this picture up there. Now, Ryan, this is for you because you already know where I'm going with this. How late did you stay up thinking about winning this championship? Like, I have to ask because, me and you talk. So, how late did you stay up? I have to know. As one who's won a championship, I have to ask that.
But before the championship, or
no, when you won the championship, I gotta know. How late did you stay up? Because the smile on your face, the smile on your face right here says it all. So how late did you stay up?
Honestly, Ramel, that's one of the greatest feelings and a moment I'll never forget in my lifetime. To be celebrating with the organization and with Luciano and Blue and Andriana and Vicky and everybody that made the trip. I told you in the beginning of the season, we're a family. We're a Crunch family. We like to be in each other's business and know what's going on, and communication is a huge thing with our organization. So to answer your question, I didn't get any sleep. I had a flight at 7:45 in the morning, and I think I was so excited after we partied at the Hilton with the guys. A lot of the guys went out after, and I wasn't feeling that for me. But what I was feeling was, hey, I want to go watch the stream. I want to see this game, because soccer is just always something that's on my mind. I love watching video. I love watching the growth of this team. I didn't get any sleep.
Talk about, because obviously we've been going back and forth with the players. Talk about this championship impact off the field.
It's so big. It's, Cleveland is a city of champions again, and I wish we could get a little more coverage, and I appreciate you guys, because this team's been back for 4 years. We've won 2 championships, and I don't care what league you're in, and I don't care who you're playing with. I'll go hands down against any other indoor soccer league in the United States right now. The MLIS competition was fierce this year. I mean, you got a Grand Rapids team that's good, an Omaha team that's good. Chicago gave both of those teams a run for their money. This Colorado team is something that we probably will be talking about in the next few seasons. And the Ohio Extreme, they're learning.
Right.
But and this league's about to expand big time here in the next season, with the merger of the NLIS. So it's a big feeling to bring this championship home from Cleveland. A quick story: my stepfather picked me up from the airport, and he's like, "Hey, you want to go get something to eat?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll get something to eat." I had my Crunch our on-field shirts, our championship shirts on it. I was proud. I was wearing my medal still, and we walked into Culver's, and they're like, "Hey, good job." So Culver's knew about us. So I think the word's getting out about the Crunch. It's just we would love to get more coverage, and we would love to be able to celebrate that more with Cleveland fans.
100%.
We got you covered.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Quick fact. Out of the baseball, basketball, football, we don't have NHL, so we're going to count soccer, because soccer has been a staple here in Cleveland for longer than most people can remember. There are only 2 teams with 5 or more championships in the city of Cleveland. One of them we already know. Obviously, it's the Browns. They won 8. But within the next 3 years, I'm calling it now, within the next 3 years, the Crunch will be then tied or either taking the lead for most championships in the city.
I love it.
And I don't disagree.
Because Cleveland, the Crunch, are second behind the Browns. If it wasn't for Jim Brown and them, we wouldn't be having this conversation.
Yeah, but the Crunch wins recent championships. But we're not gonna go too much further onto that one. And we appreciate it. And obviously, if you're with us on the 216 Sports Network, do jump back in. There's been multiple episodes of Crunch Time. I've spoken with multiple players. We've spoken with Ryan. We've spoken with Coach Manfoot, and we even sat down with Kevin Arnold, your guys' play-by-play guy. So there's stuff there you can find. But you're 100% right. This team does deserve more. It deserves a bit more coverage because you guys are winning. And like you said, it doesn't matter when you're winning a championship in your sport at its highest level. You deserve every bit of recognition. So I 100% agree with you on that one.
I wanted to say something that I think definitely deserves some credit. I've watched sports my entire life, especially Cleveland sports. Cleveland diehard like most of us, and I don't think in any sport, I don't think I've ever seen a team battle adversity and feed off of emotional energy the way our team did in the championship. And that is just something that you that's just hard. That's just like you either have it or you don't.
Mm-hmm.
And the emotional energy that they fed off of when Admir went down, and then when Kevin had his horrific injury, they fed off each other and they refused to lose.
I posted
And I
it.
don't think I've ever seen that.
No, I posted it during the game. I said, you know, I even said they're going to have to really reach and kind of get rally together. That is something that derails most teams. It doesn't matter the sport. To lose not just two top guys, but two guys who are kind of, you know, in the heart and soul of your team, and not just respond. You guys dominated pretty much the rest of the game from that point forward. So yeah, hats off, because no, most teams can't do that. Most teams crumble, and that's, I think that kind of embodies what this entire organization, because in order for you guys on the field, you know, as players you have to respond, but it also helps when your coach responds. Your coach responds because he knows he has the ownership behind him. It's a really truly, like you said, a family thing when a family or a team can respond like you guys did after those two, you know, bad injuries, and just you know, a game that started to get a bit chippy, a bit out of hand. Refs were letting some things go, and you guys responded beautifully. I mean, with a championship performance.
You know, one thing about this team, Ken, is that, you know, they win the championship. They do their on-field celebration. And, you know, Lucci and I and Andy, we're trying to worry about getting champagne ready and stuff, and these guys don't want to celebrate. You know what they wanted to do? The first thing they wanted to do was go to see Kevin in the hospital. And I think that just shows a lot. That, I mean, you just did everything you set out to do this year.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to celebrate. You want to go see your brother.
What was that message like from Kevin before he left on the field? I know he had to have said something to a couple of the guys, and what was then it like to be able to then take him that trophy?
Yeah, I mean, first he's like, why are you guys acting like I died? That was his first thing. 'Cause, you know, we're all freaking out. You know, some guys getting a little emotional, whatever. But yeah, he was like, guys, just bring it home, and that's all that really matters. He's like, I'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I mean, we just had to take care of business. It was like you say, we were really up against it. I mean, we lost two of the top guys, and then also playing in Omaha's stadium, all their fans are there. All their fans are giving us everything.
Mm-hmm.
There's the nonsense off the field with the coaches and the players and everything like that. And it's like, I remember just turning around and looking at everybody, and it was like, people were emotional. You know, they were feeling some type of way, but at the same time, you can just tell in their eyes, like, we're not going out without winning this game.
Was it almost easier to kind of lock back in being on the road? You know, there was a little bit, it was almost more hostile. It was a little bit less, you know, if that was in Cleveland, you know, you would have heard a pin drop in you know, in our stadium. So was it almost kind of a little easier on the road to be like, okay, this happened, you guys are going to act the way you're going to act. All right, fine, we're ready to go then.
Yeah, I mean, we pretty much just went into the mindset when Kevin went down, and just like Omar said, he just told us to bring it home and he'll be all right. We kind of went through just seeing each other's emotions. We just knew we had a different look on all of our faces. Like, they weren't gonna do that to us, and they were gonna do that to us, and we weren't not going to bring it home.
It was visible, I know, in stadium and watching from home. You could tell. It was like, okay, wait a minute. This team took a step forward in this game, and Omaha, to their credit, tried. But the emotion, you guys rode the wave rather than it kind of crashing or kind of taking you guys out. Is it too early to start talking about next year?
No.
Well, I do have a question, because this does not happen often, especially in Cleveland. So I have to ask, for Jacob and Omar, as rookies stepping onto the field, becoming defensive and offensive rookie of the years, what was it like to bring a championship home in your first year? Like, where was the moment where it clicked that, I just brought it home?
It was definitely when I was able to get my hands on that trophy in Omaha, and then just recently seeing all the photos from the game and being able to make a few posts. It's just kind of a great feeling, just in coming home from friends and family, everyone congratulating myself and the team. I'd say being able to get that trophy on my hands for sure.
It's always that feeling, man. It's always that.
Yeah, it was the same for me. just as soon as I picked up the trophy, and I had been talked to the guys about it afterwards. I had come from some programs and teams, and we were always quality, but we always seemed to kind of fumble at the last hurdle. And yeah, with these guys, I was just playing with some different animals. Like,
So, some personal redemption.
right. So as soon as it was done, it's just there's no better feeling than winning.
And was the trophy bigger than you thought it was?
Oh, 100%. And the medals too.
Yeah.
I was
Oh, really?
surprised.
The medals
Yeah.
too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. So obviously we're gonna take the summer here, and you guys will kind of transition to where you play and what you do then. But obviously we get right back into next year, same goal, same mentality, right? How do you? Obviously, it's a little easier to chase when you have something to chase, but when you have it and you have to kind of get into that reset mind, is it a little tougher, or is it even kind of sweeter? Well, no, I have it now. Now you have to come get this championship from us.
I'd definitely say it's a lot sweeter to have it. We're gonna go into the same mindset as we did at the beginning of this past year. We're gonna win it all again, and we don't want to give what we have up. So, to answer your question, sweeter. for sure.
Absolutely. I got some fun, easy, rapid fire stuff for you guys. Pre-game meal. Do you have a staple? Is there one thing that you know on game day? This is what I've got to have.
Pasta.
I was gonna say pasta as well.
Yeah. Pre-game song.
Walk by Kodak Black.
Really?
Mine's gonna have to be Low Down by Lil Baby.
Okay. Pre-game ritual. Any kind of superstition? I gotta.
I wear the same compression shorts, socks, and everything on the same game day.
You don't do the Michael Jordan thing and don't wash them, do you?
No, I'm good off that.
Any?
I mean, just going through the stretching in the beginning of the game. I have like a specific order in which I want
Routine,
to do things. Yeah. So
More fun to win on the road or at home?
At home.
at home for sure.
I disagree. I like to stick to them.
Give me your favorite childhood sports memory. As a player or fan?
I don't even know if I'd be considered a kid, but Cavs 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree. Cavs 2016, I was able to go down to the parade and just seeing how many people were there was just insane.
We need to work on the city of Cleveland getting you guys a parade because you deserve it
Hey,
as well.
you know what? I've already sent this to some people up downtown, so don't.
We need to. You guys deserve it. Trophy and all, medals. Let's do it.
I got a SUV. We can tie a trailer on the
Let's
back
go.
and put y'all on.
Absolutely. When did you fall in love with this beautiful game, the game of soccer? When was your first? Has it always been your first choice? I'm a lifer. I can tell Ryan's a lifer. Has it always been your game?
Yeah, I have 5 older siblings, and they all played soccer, so it was from the beginning.
Yeah, since I was 5 years old, pretty much. I mean, I played other sports growing up, but it was always another sport and soccer in the same season. It was one thing and soccer. So soccer always stuck with me, and that was the thing I was best at. So since I was a kid, I loved it.
And then obviously you complete the goal and you win a championship as a crunch player. You complete it as an owner, as somebody who's a lifer as well. Just to be able to talk and cover you guys has been amazing too. I absolutely have just enjoyed watching this ride with you guys as well. Brian, I know you got some stuff going on in the summer and some camps and stuff you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, to answer your question, is it too early to start talking about next year? I mean, foot is already on the gas for a bunch of numerous Cleveland Crunch youth summer camps across Northeast Ohio, as well as a bunch of community events. We have a Special Olympics event we're doing in Nordonia. We always like the trunk or treats. We like the Magic of Lights in Berea. So we like getting out in the community, and we like seeing our fans. And we have a championship party here coming up next Saturday, the 27th. That's going to be at the Whistle Whistle Tap Room in downtown Cleveland. That is for our organization and our sponsors. But yeah, the camps for this summer are going to be June 5th at Lost Nation Sports Park in Willoughby. So we'll have one in Willoughby. June 15th and 16th, where we are having one at the Soccer Sportsplex in North Olmsted. That'll be on their outdoor field. June 29th and 30th, Huffman Cunningham Park, which is right down the street from here in Medina. So we'll have a Medina County camp. And then really excited about this one. July 13th and 14th, we are teaming up with Upper 90 FC. And Upper 90 FC and the Cleveland Crunch are going to co-host those camps, July 13th and 14th. And then we're heading back out east, July 27th and 28th to Orlando Park in Wickliffe. So those, that is on our website if people want to sign up. Crunch camps are always fun. I remember going in '93 after the Crunch won the championship. I was in a Crunch camp as a kid, and it was just a fun experience. You're just there with your heroes, and you're playing soccer, and you're doing what you love, and it's just a great experience.
Absolutely.
We try to obviously teach the kids skills and stuff, but it's also just a fun experience. It's a fun atmosphere to be a part of. Our camps last year were very successful.
I do have to ask this because for me, this was a very emotional season as a fan, just knowing what we all had to endure with the original owner, George S. Hoffman, passing away just before the season started. So for you guys, did you guys carry that in the heart during the season as much as we did as fans, or was it just we're just going to let him know in our own way that this season was for him?
We have the utmost respect for George Hoffman and his family. But since, the rebirth of the Crunch, we've kind of had our own brand, and this season was about, finding that happy medium of players. It was about plucking some really good rookies. I mean, you got a guy here, Omar, who played in every game this season.
Mm-hmm.
Every single game he played in. And I think that's unheard of as a rookie. And, another thing I don't think people know is that we have a pretty big roster, including practice squad. You can only dress 16 on game day. So
I did not know that.
So here's two guys, and Jacob coming from our open tryouts to the public, where we had, I want to say 35, 40 guys show up, and Jacob beats all odds, makes the roster. Not only makes the roster, isn't just on practice squad, but gets called up, puts in valuable minutes, scores, I believe, 3 goals on the year, but he did a lot more on the field that's not in the stat book. So,
not to mention breaking up fights with Mikey. That's a stat you gotta count. You gotta start counting that. We gotta start counting that.
And here's another thing too, guys. It's like you look at these two gentlemen here. This is our future.
Mm-hmm.
Guys like Ryan Minnick and Admir and Mikey, they're not going to be around forever. I love them to death. We all love them to death. Dave Jordans of the world, they're not going to be around forever, and this is our future right here. So it's definitely something that we're building. The talent does not end. We will always look for talent. We will always try to make our organization better on the field, off the field, in the front office, from a sponsorship standpoint. Like the gas pedal doesn't stop for me. Anybody who knows me,
the hardest working
gas
man in
pedal
all of
does
professional
not,
sports.
it doesn't quit for me.
No, I get it, and that's a testament to you guys when you watch the entire MLIS. The Crunch's roster is probably one of, if not the deepest, and it shows when you guys go into games. There's no letdown. A guy comes off of the field, the next guy come in, and the standard of play is the same throughout. And I know that's something that you guys work on, and I know that's something that Coach drills into you too. Not just that, you can check out all of the stuff Ryan was talking about on clevelandcrunch.com. I also encourage you, if you're on the clevelandcrunch.com, and I also encourage you, if you're on Facebook, to search Cleveland Crunch. Follow them there. There's also, and I'm a part of it, there's also a great Cleveland Crunch fans Facebook group that is great to be a part of. I put some stuff in there. Ryan's in there all the time. Players.
Over 1,000 members.
Yeah, there's over 1,000 members. And if you're watching a game, it's a great place to jump into while the games are going on, because there's knowledgeable people in there as well too. So anywhere that you can, find the Cleveland Crunch, because it is much, much worth it. I want to thank you guys. I really, really appreciate you guys coming on with us and having this conversation. And we absolutely love giving you guys the love that you deserve for this championship in 2024. The 216 Sports Network, you can find us on Facebook, where you can like and follow us there. You can find us on YouTube as well. You can find us on Instagram.
Twitter. I'm working on the Twitter, okay? I'm working on the Twitter. It's up, but I haven't posted in like a month or so.
That's okay. You can find the rest of us there. That's where you can find the Jay Rich Show. You can find Rico McGee with the Rulers Minute. He is also on TikTok at Rulers McGee. And that's where you can also find the Strawbro Sports Show. That's mine. You can find us on Twitter, formerly X, at Strawbro Sports. You can find us on TikTok as well at the SBSS. And the Strawbro Sports Show is on Spotify, so you can jump back and you can catch up. You will find this episode on Spotify as well here in about an hour.
Just one quick thing I wanted to add. I should have added it earlier.
No, that's okay.
But, I want to give a special shout out to our sponsors this
Absolutely.
year. Friedman, Damiano, and Smith was so crucial in everything that they did for us this year. Metro Health was huge. Kevin Blackwood just had a successful surgery a couple days ago because of Metro Health by Dr. Beverly. So big shout out to Metro Health. Big shout out to Bedard Brothers and Tracy's Karate and Raw Image Photography with Michelle Shaw and Kim Carbone. Photography, G Viper Photography with Luigi Musto. Sergeant Clean Car Wash was very big for us this year. There's so many sponsors that Engineering Excellence that came through for us this year, and we hope to partner up with them, in the future. Cardinal Credit Union was a big one for the third year in a row. So just big shout out and a big thank you and a big show of appreciation to our sponsors, because our organization, the front office, we're the engine that runs it, but without sponsors, things get a lot difficult. So a lot harder to accomplish things. So.
Absolutely, and if you're from the city of Cleveland, all those names you've heard,
they're
brand names to all of us. So a big shout out to them for supporting the Cleveland Crunch, because you guys deserve it. You absolutely deserve all of the love and support that you guys are getting. So thank you guys again for jumping in with us. We really appreciate it.
And really quickly, I would like to say thank you to KZ Productions. Thank you, Lisa.
She's in the other room
Thank
for us,
you,
taking
Lisa.
care of this, for letting us use this beautiful studio today to bring all these guys in. So thank you very much. I'm Ken Straub, and for Mel, this has been Crunch Time Championship Edition.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
I really, really appreciate that.